Hello, everybody, and welcome to the RAMCAST. I know it's been a little bit of time since we've done one of these, but I am still your lovely host, Savannah, with our lovely host, Alex. And these are our lovely guests for today, who will introduce themselves and their titles.
I'm Klayton Simmons. I'm the copy editor on the Vernois yearbook.
And I'm Cam Meyer. I'm the sports editor for the Vernois News.
This is our RAMCAST Vernois News Edition, or for short, VPG Edition. So, why don't you start us out, Alex, since it took your thunder?
Thank you. Let's start off simple. What is the VPG?
Vernois Publications Group is what VPG stands for. We do the yearbook, and we also do the Vernois News, which is what Cam works on. We also have a creative writing magazine called Java, and that's
Alistair Clody works on that along with Grace Matthews. They're on newspaper.
and that's about what it encompasses.
So how does somebody join whenever they come to the high school fresh, brand new, they hear VPG? How do you think you tell them to join?
So freshman orientation is April 28th, and that's not really how I got into it. I got into it by Miss Watts, but freshman orientation really gets new incoming freshmen get a look on it, like yearbook, maybe Java will be a class, I'm not sure, and newspaper, principles of media. That's the first step into getting onto anything editorial staff related or just writing stories.
So what exact publications do you guys do?
I see you guys got a couple here. I'll hold up some.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give one to Alex, too.
All right.
There you go. Well, you guys talk about your
Ooh, I get the
publications.
cool one.
So our publications range from newspaper, which is all student-led, to Java, which is getting its feet back into the ground and starting back up with Alistair and Grace heading it. And then we have yearbook that Klayton runs. I think Klayton can really go more in depth on that.
Yep, the yearbook is a yearly production, as the name implies, while this is mostly monthly.
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
correct?
And then sometimes it's every 2 months.
Yep, and there's also an online version of the Vernois News as well. Cam works on the lovely sports, as you can see on the back here, which I always kind of steal from him a little bit in my work.
You guys seem to be very, very busy with putting out maybe, every 2 weeks a publication or even like doing the big yearbooks for everybody to enjoy. So how would you describe VPG?
Hectic, but it's always fun. I
Yeah.
mean, everyone in there just kind of knows each other, and we all kind of just work in unison.
Yeah, definitely. I've made friendships that I did not think I would have at the start of the year. It's just different atmosphere than some different classes.
Yeah, when Vernon, I wouldn't say it's gigantic, but it is still quite big.
Mm-hmm.
So when someone like a big news story happens on the other side of the city, do you guys go on trips to get the big scoop, as they would call it?
That would have to be if you want to independently do that story. We do go on trips though, and we went to CISPA. Me and Fisher Davis were really excited about that one, and Alistair Clody placed first in an on-site writing contest. It was for, I think it was review, or maybe it was feature. I'm not sure, but he got first in something, and that was really cool to see him get first.
That's really incredible that you guys got to go on such a huge trip. And I know you said that about the going out of town or going to an on-site location, but have there been any strange or weird news stories you guys have covered?
Hi, welcome to Guess That News. Today, you will see the first, and possibly only, installment of this show. Hi, I'm James Tolley, here with my two special guests. Nice to meet you two.
Hello.
Nice to meet you, newscaster. Nice to meet you, nobody.
Oh!
Dang!
Today, I will be asking you to tell me which of these two news stories is true. Number 1, the government is planning to launch an app to make cash basically useless, physical money. And 2, someone leaked classified documents on a War Thunder server to prove he had a point.
I think the second one is true.
Really?
Yes.
Well, then you two are correct! Great job! The government is in fact not planning to launch an app to make physical cash useless, but some idiot decided to dump classified tank designs on War Thunder to prove there was an inaccuracy.
Now, I hate to
was
steal
impressive,
your
right?
thunder,
Oh,
but that
yeah,
actually
yeah.
happened more than once.
Not probably on War Thunder though.
No? On War Thunder.
God.
I'm...
Okay, that's.
Thank you for watching!
I've
I'm
watched
going
it
to go
for
sit in
humanity.
the corner now and think about how I've wasted my life.
Bye!
See you, Grace. Thanks for this.
Damn, why would you?
Interesting
Anyway,
fellow to our group here at AV Club.
Interesting.
anyway, what's the next question for these lovely men?
So why did you guys personally choose to get involved with VPG?
I actually never knew it existed till my end of my freshman year, and then I think my English teacher, Miss Zapp, recommended me to Dr. Van Zant, and he handed me a piece of paper, and I signed up for it.
So the reason I joined is that I want to go into broadcast journalism in college. So I thought really getting my foot into the ground, I said that twice already, but getting my foot into the ground could be, writing newspapers or even joining something like this. So yeah, I just felt like if I figured out what was going on, I could get a better understanding for it early and be better at it.
Yeah, a lot of kids do that because there's a couple of kids even here in our AV Club who want to be directors or screenwriters or editors whenever they are full-grown adults as their full-time job. So we do this to get experience. We do this to get kind of an understanding. And that's why having expansions to classes from clubs is a really great idea because it gives kids 48 minutes of being at school, of doing something that they might really enjoy or something that can help them in the future. Because I know that VPG kind of got its own class in a way with
Principles of media.
Yeah, principles of media that freshmen can take. The principles of media, and we actually technically got an AV class, which is doing photography and video for a whole year. So branching out to different clubs and kind of almost making a club class is very helpful to some students who can't stay after, kids who just want to have 48 minutes to do something.
And sometimes we get asked the same question over and over again. So, what is something you get asked a lot?
Most people would just ask kind of what the workload is like.
Yeah. Ours is more like, are you going to write a story on this or that? It's just, is coverage going to come out on it?
Yeah.
Or when you take someone's photo, they're going to ask, "Oh, is that going in the yearbook?"
Yeah.
Of course it's going in the yearbook.
And
What do you
I
think
always
we're
have to say, "Oh, maybe."
Now we're just taking these for our personal collection.
Yeah, of course. I just got a personal collection of 15 students that go here. So, what is your guys' personal favorite part that you would do over and over again for the rest of your life if you could?
Probably just working in the office with everybody. I think that whole environment just the most fun aspect of everything. No, not really just kind of staying behind on your own or anything, because you can't really just work on the whole thing by yourself. You kind of need to have someone else with you to show you what you're doing wrong, or just have a second opinion as well.
I'd say writing columns, music columns, sports columns. I'm just big into those things, so I think those are my favorite things to do.
Yeah, but you can't be doing your favorite things all the time. Sometimes you gotta do your least favorite thing. So, what's a production week look like?
Production week, it's something. It's something we look forward to, every month. Getting something out there every 2 months is what we're looking at now for a senior issue. But it's fun, really, but sometimes it can get hectic really quick. But, I love it.
I'd say we don't really have production weeks, but we work on the yearbook the whole year. We kind of have quarterly deadlines for certain aspects of the book. We have, say, the people pages might be the first half of a book, and then we have that due in the first quarter, maybe. Sometimes we meet those deadlines, oftentimes we don't, and it just continues on. But by the end of the year, a little bit into June, we usually have the book done.
Here's some of the lovely, beautiful pages that they've created, by the way.
A little bit behind the scenes. Sometimes we have to come back in August before the school year starts to finish up something that we messed up.
Turn a page or two in here if I can. There you go. Here's some lovely images in there of our classes. Oh no, the yearbook's really important to some people because they'll look back on it 50 years from now and go, you know, I was in class with them, and then some people will look at it and go, I went to high school with Kanye West. Why did I go to high school with Kanye West? So, I mean, your guys' jobs, whether it be with newspaper or yearbook, it's still a very big, crucial part, and it's definitely something that high schools have kind of been built on. Like, not only have, like, class rings been built upon it, but the fact that you can look through and see people that you spent time with, people that you probably knew, and people that you probably still know, and kind of laugh at their old photos. Because why not laugh at your friend's old fashion decisions? Or hair color decisions? Yes, I'm looking at you, Alex.
And I'm looking at you.
Hey, this is personal. This was knitted for me, okay? Don't even. So, how much work does it go into producing something? Like, compared to this and that, how much work goes into them?
Oh, well, I think there's like a vast, area in between, but because that's, done every year and this is a monthly thing, but I think they're both equally as important. Well, I mean, like,
No, I'd say so, yeah.
I mean, that's more for a memory side and this is for like news. So this is more the present, and that can be the present, but still looking on it in the future, in the past.
Oh.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Also, these go a lot more in depth than saying something that would be featured in the book.
Like my sports stories could go in depth into one game while they could just go on a whole season.
Yeah, like this would probably sum it up into it was a game at Centralia that we won or lost kind of thing.
Yeah.
And speaking of, Centralia, how do you think you guys compare to other schools?
Like with your yearbook and your newspaper wise, how do you guys think you compare it? Because sometimes I've been shown this by the specific teacher you mentioned, Dr. Van Zant, but he showed us a big book that's just filled. It's like these two with maybe another half one on top of just a bunch of different schools' yearbooks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If we had the keys to that office over there, I would actually have brought it in here, and I would have brought last year's yearbook too, but we couldn't unlock the office, and that book's actually in there. Yeah, it is about this thick, and it has a compilation of the best yearbooks and all that, and we kind of just look at it to kind of determine what kind of things we want to include in our book, take ideas from others. It's not really stealing per se, it's more just
Putting your own spin on it.
yeah. And, there's some schools that put some really creative ideas in it. And that orange book that you're holding right there is actually an award-winning book. That was our 2019 book, sorry.
I'm just showing off the books again because you guys do really great work with these books. You guys really put your heart and soul into these. And the newspaper that comes out is definitely a really great thing that I don't even see a whole lot of other schools
Wait a second,
having.
you have a bass fishing team?
Yeah, you learn something new. We have
Yeah, I
one.
didn't join it freshman year, so against it.
We also have the bowling team. Let's turn to a couple of pages.
Don't remind me of it.
I will.
Just,
Okay, it turned. But showing your guys' work off is definitely a very honoring role to us because it's specifically something that our school holds in very high regard. Just like how we hold our football team in such high regard because it's just special to us and it's kind of like the bare bones. If you were to take most of everything out of the school, you would still have our football team and VPG. You guys are truly one of the greatest honors to be on here. Not that anybody else was lesser. Everybody's still great. It's just the fact that you guys paved the way for other clubs to exist so that other things can grow and grow and grow. So maybe in the future we have a VPG and then we have other things that go along with it and branch off.
Yeah.
So I very much applaud you guys for your work. And I think, is that the show?
Yeah, of course not. We still got one last question. Now, what is your guys' favorite Van Zant story?
And we got to put this one in there because we have a bunch of Golson stories that are great. So we got to know the difference between the two.
You gotta go first. I gotta think of that.
You think I got one?
I don't know.
What can I
While
get away
they're
with
thinking,
saying?
let's hold up the books, Alex.
Yeah, the books.
Give them time to think. Get some Jeopardy music.
What's good enough to say?
I really don't know.
I mean, sometimes kind of whenever things get real hectic,
Oh no.
we all kind of break down a little bit at the end of the year. I would say that sometimes it wouldn't be beyond him to just kind of lie down for a bit on the ground for us, and then we just kind of have to wait there and scratch our heads and kind of figure out what we're going to do next to get around something.
And for mine, I'm sure there's like a really good story that I'm missing, but for LEDSC, we just go down and we either go to Benton or something before that, and there's just been plenty of times where we've just laughed over eating either Quattro's or Joe's Pizza. It's just a good time whenever we go down for Stuco.
Oh, I actually know a better one. I remember when he told us whenever we were going to finish the yearbook last year, there was going to be big fireworks on the screen and all that. And then we clicked publish on the last page and there was no fireworks at all. But when this year started on our book, we opened up the software for it, and sure enough, there were the fireworks
Wow.
like a full year after it finished. So
that's great, though, that you guys got some little fireworks. Even if it was a little late. Well, I think that closes our episode out pretty well.
I think so.
You know, we got some really good VZ stories in there. I got some really good messages. And if there's anything last you'd like to say to like the incoming 2027 freshmen, or even the current freshmen now, to kind of get them excited for VPG, or to try and get somebody else to join, or if there's just any last questions, comments that you want to ask us or just explain, feel free. But high school is full of a lot of things out there, children. High school is full of a lot of things, and you will be seen as golden retriever puppies who were let off the leash for about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
You'll be
Anyway,
something more.
that will conclude this episode of the RAMCAST. Careful!
Oh my gosh!
Careful!
Careful, there's a cord there.
James, are you still thinking about your wife? He's over here thinking about his wife, guys. Alright.
Next time, don't think like that.
Well, you boys have anything last to say?
I would say definitely try and at least pursue a little bit into VPG. It's really worth it. It's one of the few clubs on the school that has its own dedicated offices, and there are many offices actually. We have our own area back there, but it's a whole lot worth it. You'll make a lot of friends there, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. If you don't have anything to do going into high school, you're just like wondering, do I do student council? Do I do FBLA, FCA, anything like that? We can just, but you can join Vernois Publications and tell your stories, maybe make your yearbook if you
Isn't
are
it
down for
Mount
that.
Vernon and not Vernois?
No, we have Vernois Yearbook and Vernois News here. That's what the V in VPG stands for.
Yep.
But it's not just writing, if that's what you're thinking it is. There's a whole lot of things you do in there.
Oh, yeah.
Thing?
Yeah,
Connecting Vern and Illinois, Vernois.
And there's a street named Vernois down
Oh.
here. Yeah,
Boy, is it?
right by RP Lumber.
I think we're still going. The show ended 5 minutes ago. This is like the overtime.
We're just having a talk.
It's the after party.
I was trying to get them to get their last few words out.
Oh, okay,
So,
that was a really quick show.
this has been the RAMCAST. I am your lovely host, Savannah, with Alex, and our lovely VPG cast. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And it was a true honor to be here with you guys.
Thank you
cut
very
the
much.
broadcast. Let's do this.
It's over.